This is Calkin and Drangles. And now lot 273. Hoppner's noted portrait of the 8th Marquis of Rouen, known as the Man in Grey. Now, gentlemen, at what may I stop? Shall we say 7? Thank you, sir. 700 guineas. Thank you. 800. Thank you, sir. 800 guineas. I thank you. 800 guineas. No more. 900. 900. Thank you, sir. 900 guineas. 900 guineas. Very well. And now, gentlemen, we come to what, if I may lapse into the picturesque parlance of our American cousins and their lives, may be described as the high spot in today's sale.
She was the famous Regency beauty.
Oh?
Yes, she married the Man in Grey.
Now, shall we open it, say, 1,000? Thank you, sir.
I don't think the picture's so wonderful.
1,500
And why are you bidding for it?
I'm not.
You waved your catalogue.
From the gentleman belonging to the armed forces.
That's you.
What? Good Lord.
1,500 guineas. May I hear 1,600? Going at 1,500 guineas. Going...
1,600 over here, sir.
1,600. Thank you, sir.
Oh.
17.
That would have taken my pay up to the next war but 3.
18.
You daren't sneeze here or you'll find you've bought a gold dinner service.
19. 2,000. 2,000 guineas. 2,000. Once, twice, for the third and last time.
Big dealers seem to be going. There doesn't seem to be anything very important left today.
It's the next lot I'm interested in. I want it for my mother. We're kind of connected with the Roans.
Really?
See that? That's the Rowan crest. Family's finished, you know. The last Lord Rowan was killed at Dunkirk.
Yes.
Bad luck them having to sell up, but I can't help wondering what they ever did to deserve all this.
Lot 275, a Georgian trinket box and contents, comprising 6 items. Nothing here, gentlemen, of any great intrinsic value, but of interest, having belonged to the Marchioness of Rouen, lady of the Lawrence canvas, just so. Now, 15 guineas. Thank you, sir. Thank you. 15 guineas.
16!
Thank you. Yes, I got that. 16 guineas.
17?
18. I shouldn't bid more than 20. He said it wasn't valuable.
Now, may I hear 19? Remember, these trinkets once belonged to the most beautiful woman. What? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I regret the proceedings must close at once. It appears we are contravening the blackout regulations. The sale will continue tomorrow at 10:30 sharp.
Oh, blast the blackout. I shall have to come back again tomorrow.
Oh, didn't you mean to?
No, I got lots of shopping to do. I'm due back at my station in the evening. You know, I still don't think she's so hot. I've known lots of girls just as pretty and far more intelligent looking. You coming here tomorrow?
Yes, we'd better make sure of our seats. Will you keep 2 chairs for tomorrow, please? One for Mr... Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Rokeby, Peter Rokeby.
One for Mr. Rokeby and one for me.
Certainly. 2 chairs tomorrow for Mr. Rokeby and Lady Clarissa Rowan.
Clarissa Rowan? Oh, my, I have put my foot in it then. And that boy that was lost at Dunkirk was...
My brother. I'm the last of the Rowans.
Oh, I'm sorry. And for what I said about your family.
You're probably quite right. I don't know that we ever did do very much to deserve all this. Tell me, how are you connected with our family?
Oh, rather hazily, I'm afraid. I was shooting a bit of a line. But one of my ancestors was supposed to have been in love with the Regency Clarissa Rowan. She's said to have given him this. That's why I wanted this trinket box for my mother. She believes the story. Well, it's all rather pathetic, isn't it, these bits and pieces? Well, they must have meant something to somebody once. Oh, a needle case, isn't it? And a funny little snuff box. What's that?
Works, anyway. That's the lot. Not worth your bid, I'm afraid.
Oh, you're too mercenary. Oh, here's a prospectus for school. Dispatched establishment for young ladies, the White House Bar. I wonder who went there.
I say that little man wants to turn out the lights. We'd better go.
Oh. I say, I've got a wonderful idea. I'm sure there's a lot you could tell me about the Regency, Clarissa Rowan, but I could pass on to my mother. So if you'd have dinner with me tonight, in a really informative way, of course.
Sure, your mother's sake.
Young ladies, words fail me. What are you about?
We're throwing snowballs, ma'am.
Ladies, never throw. Pray terminate this shocking spectacle and re-enter the house at once. Miss Edge,
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder that you could permit such a thing.
I thought the exercise might be good for them, ma'am.
You thought? I do not pay you £15 a year to think, Miss Edge.
No, ma'am.
If you cannot distinguish between genteel exercise and hoydenish romping, I must find a young woman who can.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Edge,
Yes, ma'am.
pray inquire what that person wants.
Yes, ma'am. Are you the new pupil, Miss Shaw?
Yes, ma'am.
You're very late.
Well, there was no one to meet me at the inn. Are Miss Patchett's young ladies usually left to fend for themselves?
They do not usually arrive by stagecoach. They travel post or in their own parental equipages.
That should be made clear in Miss Patchett's prospectus. Kindly bring my things inside.
Miss Shaw, I presume?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Patchett, I presume.
You understand that it is out of my excessive regard for your stepmother that I am receiving you. When I heard of her situation, ruined by your father's imprudence, and left a widow with you on her hands, I could not resist the promptings of compassionate sensibility.
I understood she did you a service some years ago, and that you agreed to train me as a teacher by way of repayment.
Polly, don't stand there gaping. Take that harp into the young ladies' room.
Yes, ma'am.
And then take the luggage up to the attic next to Cook's. That will do very well for Miss Shaw.
There's a new young lady, miss. Better put your shoes on, Sally. The cross patch will be on us directly to present her. Oh, the way cross patch shows off the new pupil.
Young ladies, I bring you a charming playfellow, Miss Letitia Fitznoodle. Young ladies, I bring you a new companion. Perhaps companion is hardly the word, as Miss Shaw will in due course be engaged as a junior teacher. Nevertheless, I trust that you will welcome her as if she received the same advantages as yourselves.
Have you travelled far, Miss Shaw?
From Manchester.
Ah, one of the Manchester shores.
You brought your clogs with you? I don't wear clogs, nor yet a shawl over my head. It isn't the custom.
It's Clarissa!
Who is Clarissa?
Why, she's Clarissa, Paula Border.
She's the Honourable Clarissa Richmond, daughter of the late Lord Carey. Which accounts for her popularity, I imagine. Not at all. She's both lovely and amiable. Even you, miss, will find her so.
Our sweets for all, so take your turn, everybody. Here we are, Jane. Oh. Louisa. Dorothy. Who'd like this one? One for you, and the last one for you. Now, nobody's left out. I've even remembered myself. I'm Clarissa Richmond. Will you have a sugared violet?
No, thank you. I don't care for sugary things.
Are you cold, Clarissa?
No, somebody walked over my grave.
Come and show me the things you bought. Marjorie, bring the parcels.
Three stitches on my sample done amiss, and the cross-patch gave me a double task.
She would. My sister Bella's had an offer. It's only from the curate. Mamma thinks she ought to take it. No, in the third volume it turned out to be a nun. Walled up, you know, as they always are. How horrid.
How delicious. Clarissa, make haste. You haven't curled your hair yet.
Oh, then be a dear and do it for me. I must write my journal.
All right.
There, what did I tell you? Now Patches will be vexed.
Tranquilize yourself, Miss Seymour.
I'll show you how to manage old Crosspatch.
Miss Seymour, I shall not disturb Miss Richmond's devotions. I shall send Miss Edge to extinguish the candle in 10 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good night, young ladies. No talking.
Young ladies,
No talking. I can finish my journal in peace.
Oh, I will come back when I have extinguished Miss Richmond's candle. All the young ladies are expected to be in bed when the bell is rung.
Except Miss Richmond, apparently.
My dear, she is the only girl in this school who will not despise you because you are disconnected and poor.
I prefer not to discuss my circumstances.
And afterwards, I spoke to the new pupil, Miss Shaw. She's a strange girl, lovely, but somehow unhappy. She didn't seem to like me. I don't know why. But I'll make her.
Seems your ankle is mended again, Miss Richmond.
It was never sprained. I stayed in so that I could talk to you. Why do you dislike me?
You're rich and spoilt and beautiful.
I'm not rich. You're far more beautiful than I am, although you sulk and scowl.
You're honest, I'll say that. And good-natured. I'm neither.
But you are spoilt. Then I need a friend who won't spoil me.
I know you've tried to be nice to me.
Don't think I'm not grateful. But that's what I've always had to be. Grateful. Thank you, kind sir. Thank you, Mom. All my life.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that.
Friendship between us would bring you no good. And I don't want to do you harm. You see, in a way, I do like you. But I also envy you.
Oh, fiddlesticks. You shall share all I've got, and then you can't be envious. Oh, dear, I've said the wrong thing again. But you did say you liked me, so we must be friends.
All right, then. We're friends. Till we leave school. After that, our situations will be very different.
You'll never be a schoolmarm, Hester. It's ridiculous.
I agree with you. I have other intentions.
Oh, miss, what do you think? Cook says you're pleased not to tell Madam, but there's a gypsy fortune teller in the kitchen. A fortune teller? Hester, come.
There's a letter coming to you from over the water. Here's one who thinks more of you than you do of him. But it'll all come right in the end. You'll marry him and have 6 children.
What, at my age? You'll never know what you can do till you try.
Come in, young missus. Who's first?
You first.
No, you. Cross my hand with silver. Here's a pretty fortune. Jewels, satins, gold. Marriage, yes, a rich one. You'll want for nothing. I see you in a splendid coach. You're with a man wearing grey.
Shall I marry him?
You will, but he's not the one for you. Here's your man. He comes from over the sea.
What is it?
Women isn't lucky to you, my pretty. Never make no friends of women. Here's one who will harm you. Remember my words. I warns you solemn. Never make no friends of women.
Your turn.
Well?
I can't tell you, Fortune. I won't. Not yours.
Ooh, I wonder what she meant by that.
Don't take any notice of her. She's been drinking.
That's right, miss. Nasty, artful creatures, them gypsies. They do say she stole the pheasants from across the road. Steal anything, gypsies would.
Even a character.
Whatever do you think it was she saw, Miss Esther's Anne? I knows. She witched that gypsy.
A lot of Eden nonsense.
And that Miss Esther lady, she, big witch. Gypsy scared of her in case she cast a spell. Well, I never did what a thing to say.
Out of my kitchen, taking people's names. Witch indeed, why the poor girl's going to be a schoolmistress. That's all the bewitching she'll do.
Not she. Not while gentlemen have eyes. You should watch her in church Sundays.
What, under Madam's very nose?
Well, Madam can't look 20 ways at once. There's been some very tender glances, I can tell you. And from smiles to a billy do's a short step.
How are you feeling, dear? My head's a little better, thank you. I've brought you my hartshorn. I thought it might ease the pain.
Clarissa, you've been very good to me. You've given me so many things, and... You know, I'm fonder of you than I ever thought I could be. Of anyone. Here. Take this.
But I couldn't. I know how you treasure it.
No, don't refuse me. It isn't often I get a generous impulse.
Very well, then.
Oh, it's very pretty. It'll be a keepsake.
Don't talk as if we were going to part.
Of course not. Esther. Go now. My head aches. I'd like to be by myself. Good night.
This is the most solemn moment in the history of this school. When a young lady tarnishes that beautiful but brittle jewel, her reputation, which it is her duty to preserve preferably before life itself. Then I hazard, if you cannot control yourself, you had better leave the room.
Yes, ma'am. No, I'm going to be sick. Oh, Lena.
Miss Shaw has disgraced her sex. Her name must never again be mentioned in this house.
Perhaps, Ma'am, if she'd received kinder treatment here, she would not have taken this step.
It is the duty of every well-disposed young woman to try and secure a creditable establishment. Miss Shaw has eloped with a penniless ensign. I had hoped, my dear Miss Richmond, that this experience would have taught you to form your friendships more prudently in future.
Hester will always be my dearest friend, and I won't remain in a house where her name may not be mentioned.
Clarissa.
I shall write and ask Lady Mar to take me away.
Miss Rissa, is you going away?
Yes, Toby. One day I'll send for you to be my little page.
When, Miss Rissa? Miss Rissa, when?
When I've got an establishment. Life has been a whirl since I came to London. I am deluged with invitations. And I heard today that they're calling me the lovely Richmond. Tonight we go to the great Rowan Ball.
Duchess of Dorset, Lady Caroline, Lady Elizabeth Sackville.
Plenty of fillies in the paddock tonight.
Yes, they've all been trotted out for Rowan's inspection. His mother's on the warpath.
God pity the girl that marries Rowan. I wouldn't give him a dog that I cared for. At least it would have a gold collar.
Lady Mar and Miss Clarissa Richmond.
Would you excuse me? Glad to see you, Millicent. This your girl? She looks healthy.
Clarissa's never had a day's illness, have you, my love?
Well, I have had the measles and the mumps.
They're childish ailments, not worth mentioning. I trust my Lord Rowan is well.
Trust he is, for he's not here.
Not here?
Calm yourself, Millicent. He'll come.
I hope so.
You better keep him a couple of dances.
Yes, Mum. Lady Rowan.
50 Cinderellas and no Prince Charming. It's just like Rowan.
But he's in town. I saw him in White's this morning.
Ah, but have you seen this? R is for red, obnoxious and grey, hated by all. And now, pray name the man. It's all over the town. See here. R-O-H-A-N.
The man in grey. A grey rat. How very apt. Who's the poet?
I don't know. But I'll wager Rowan does by now.
Then whoever he is, this is his swan song. Here he is.
Forgotten this. We'll go straight to my room.
That's right. The man in grey.
Blame Craven.
My coach broke an axle, Lady Rowan.
Well, you better go and get changed. I've half the young women in London waiting to meet you.
They'll keep.
Lord Rowan.
Excuse me, Lady Mar.
Oh, but I wish to present my godchild, Clarissa Richmond.
The lovely Richmond, eh?
Ah, then you agree that the sobriquet is suitable?
I should think there's about as much truth in it as the things they call you.
Eh? What do you mean?
The man in grey. It sounds like a ghost.
Rest assured, I shall never haunt the lovely Richmond.
All right, Gervais. You'll excuse us, Lord Craven.
Yes, of course.
Give it to me. Who was it this time?
Don't alarm yourself. There'll be no inquest.
Who was it?
Young Croxley.
But he's only a boy.
He's old enough to lampoon me.
And skillful enough to pierce you.
The cub was drunk. I was careless.
So you killed a drunken boy. Who dishonors us dies.
Young Croxley had omitted to learn French. But why this sudden concern for me?
I'm concerned only with the Rowans and their descendants. When a man has as many enemies as you have, the question of an heir, a lawful heir, becomes pressing.
So I must select a broodmare.
You like to call her that? No doubt your father used the same terms.
About you?
Of course.
And who are to be the runners in these birthday stakes?
Every eligible thoroughbred.
Whose virtue is beyond question.
Naturally.
I could cherish a wicked woman. I'd shield and protect her from any suspicion of virtue.
No doubt. Now, there are 3 excellent possibilities. Caroline Ponsonby, Mary Somerton, and Clarissa Richmond.
A grisly array of girlish innocence.
Excuse me.
One moment, please. I want to speak to you.
Very well.
The matter can be put briefly. I've come to ask for your hand in marriage.
Marriage? But that's absurd. You don't even like me.
If that were so, I should be hardly making this application.
But surely... Oh, my. Is this an offer?
It is?
Sir, my lord, I mean, I thank you. I'm very sensible of the honor that you do me, but in this matter, my inclinations cannot be my only guide. And before I answer your application, I must consult my guardian.
Were you taught that at school?
Yes.
I've already applied to Lady Mar. The matter rests entirely with yourself.
Oh. I don't understand why you want to marry me. We scarcely know each other.
That can be remedied. May I call for you tomorrow in my caracal?
Yes. I should enjoy that. I've always wanted to ride in a caracal.
That's settled, then. Shall we say 3 o'clock?
Yes. Everybody write to congratulate me. We're not engaged.
But you went driving with him. Oh, that's as good as announcing the engagement.
Nobody ever told me that.
But what's the objection, child?
I don't love him.
Well, we cannot expect to have everything quite to our liking, and I spent all I can afford to give you this opportunity. It wouldn't be in my power to remain another season in London, and I'm sure you don't want to cause me any uneasiness.
Whose daughters ye are?
Oh, Mrs. Armstrong. Leave the candles, please.
Very well, my lady. Good night, my lady.
Oh, Mrs. Armstrong. Would you open the window, please?
Oh, my lady, the night air? Surely you don't want to let in the night air.
No. Perhaps not. Mrs. Armstrong, you've been here a long time, haven't you?
All my life, my lady.
You put some more logs on the fire, please.
Yes, my lady.
You've been married. Matrimony is an agreeable state, is it not?
Of course, my lady. Oh! Yes, my lady?
Good night.
Good night, my lady.
Your chocolate, my lady. Thank you, Mrs. Armstrong. Morning, my lord.
You admire the view?
Very much.
My grandfather widened the river very. My father cut down a wood and removed a small hill.
Indeed. You've breakfasted?
An hour since. It's the Rowan Star. My mother charged me to give it you this morning.
I don't want it. I don't like being married. I want to go back to my godmother.
That, of course, is impossible.
Well, I can't stay here. I don't like it.
I shan't require you to stay for long. When we return to Grosvenor Square, we shall have our own rooms and go our own ways. You may do as you please, and with your permission, so shall I.
I should prefer that. Tell me, are all husbands and wives like us?
How do you mean?
Do they all make the same arrangements?
Not invariably.
I can't understand it. I don't want to seem discourteous, but I can't understand why people like being married.
I must have an heir.
Is that why you married me? To have an heir?
That's all I ask of you. You're young and beautiful. Life can be very agreeable if you choose to be sensible. Take care of the star. Better tell your maid to put it away at once.
Come in. Toby!
Miss Ressa!
Toby, I am glad to see you. Let me look at you.
Miss Ressa, you didn't forget poor Toby.
Did you think I should?
At Madame Patchett's, they all laugh and say you sure forget. But I say no. Someday Miss Rissa get establishment like she promised. And now you got establishment, Miss Rissa.
Yes, I've got an establishment now, Toby.
I wish you joy, Miss Rissa. I bought him for a wedding gift.
Oh, thank you, Toby. I'll always treasure it.
Why, Miss Rissa, is you crying?
I'm not crying, Toby. It's just that I'm so happy to have a friend. Today is our 4th wedding anniversary. Yet more and more do I realize that marriage does not mean living happily ever afterwards. I am the richer by a magnificent ruby from Rowan. But I would rather have a bunch of flowers given in love. Mr. Lawrence, is my little boy really as pretty as that?
Your ladyship should be the better judge.
I scarcely see him. My husband insists that he stays at Rowan Castle.
And you do not care for Rowan Castle.
I think it's an odious place. Didn't you think so when you were there?
Rather too large for comfort.
Far too large. Yet I'll tell you a strange thing.
Whatever room you may go into, you'll certainly find my mother-in-law playing bezique with the curate.
Yes, I observed that.
You paint me as a happy mother. I'm not very happy. I'm scarcely a mother. The child hardly knows me. When he's 5, he's to have a tutor. After that, he's to go to Eton. He's never really been mine. And yet I'm to smile because I'm supposed to be happy.
No, Lady Rowan, you smile because you're fortunate.
Aren't they the same thing?
A dairymaid can be happy, but she's not obliged to smile when she's wretched. The fortunate must pay their debt. A great lady must never be seen without a smile.
Sir, darling, how are you? Hi, Jane. It's an age since I saw you. Where have you been? I've been in Yorkshire and vastly dull I found it. Coming home, what do you think I saw? Here. When did you get this? Yesterday in St. Albans. It must be Hester Shaw. She ran off with a man called Barbara. I must go at once. She may have gone before I can get to her. But surely you don't want to see her. Of course. She's my friend. Now, Molly, don't grumble. We're going to see a play. You know you love a play.
Yes, I know, but not at this time of night. Leaving on the spur of the moment with hardly time to pack. And we don't even know we can get a room at the inn.
We can arrange all that before we go to the theatre.
Yes, but we're terribly late and... Oh, I wish we'd brought a footman.
We want no more wait. I like to travel fast.
Hold! Where are you going? Speak up.
Kindly address yourself to me.
By my somewhat battered appearance, it's the result of a too close acquaintance with a gorse bush when my horse threw me. Now the poor beast's gone lame. So I must...
Don't harm the boy. We'll give you our money.
You mistake me, ma'am. I'm no cutpurse.
Then why the pistols?
Merely my passports to a journey in this coach. You see, my horse has gone lame.
What a strange way of asking favors. I should have thought
Wait, ma'am. Were you never told not to interrupt? Oh! I shall do you no harm, but I insist on your taking me to St. Albans. Inside, Sir Galahad. Well, shall we proceed?
The sooner the better. Drive on.
Oh, my lady. Oh.
Ladyship. Oh, I'm in luck. Tell your maid I shan't cut her throat.
Oh. You're afraid of this person, are you, Molly?
Yes, my lady, I am.
Here are the lights of St. Albans. If you pull the check string, I'll get out.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, my lady. Perhaps you'd accept these weapons as souvenirs.
They're just pieces of wood.
Yes, my mother told me never to point firearms at a lady, especially so lovely a lady. All right, there. Drive on.
Oh, my lady, did you ever know such impudence? Never. Never. He has commanded me to go to bed and bade me to dismiss you.
Dismiss me?
It was his bidding. Therefore, good Amelia, adieu. We must not now displease him.
I would you had never seen him.
Oh, so would not I. My love doth so approve him, that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns, prithee unpin me.
grace and favor in them.
I have laid those sheets you bade me on the bed.
We're not getting it over. That Doxy putting on a scene in the stage box. Act, attorney, act.
My mother had a maid called Barbara. She had a song of willow, an old thing 'twas.
She died.
She died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my mind.
That lady, you remember? Miss Hester Bar.
Yes, I remember.
Sing all a green willow, 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 willow. Oh, me the green willow, my garland must be.
Prithee, hie thee. He'll come anon. Good night. Good night. Heaven me such uses send, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad mend.
It is the cause, my soul. It is the cause. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood.
Miss Rita, that's the highwayman, gentlemen.
Hers than snow, and smooth as monumental alabaster.
A strolling player. Oh, my lady, that's worse than a highwayman.
Must die.
So that's why he wanted to get here so quickly.
Put out the light, and then put out the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can thy former light restore, should I repent me. But once put out thy light, thou cunningst pattern of excelling nature, Thou cunningst pattern of excelling nature. I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light relume. Oh, balmy breath, that dost almost persuade justice to break her sword. One more.
Molly, pencil and paper.
Oh, my lady.
It's all right. It's not for the highwayman.
One more, Miss Ballard. So sweet was ne'er so fatal. I must weep, but they are cruel tears. This sorrow's heavenly. It strikes where it doth love. She wakes.
Who's there? Othello.
Aye, Desdemona. It's in the stage box, you know.
Will you come to bed, my lord, the Marchioness of Rohan?
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Aye, my lord.
I never saw such loveliness in my life.
Toby, go to the back of the stage and give that note to Miss Hester. Tell her I'll send the carriage round later.
Yes, Mum, yes, Miss Rissa. Miss Rissa, remember the gypsy wouldn't tell Miss Hester's fortune. Miss Hester, she not lucky. Miss Hester, she...
as I say.
Yes, Miss Rissa.
Oh, heaven forfend, I will not kill thy soul.
Talk you of killing?
Aye. I do. How do you know her?
Kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight. I was at school with her.
Nay, if you strive, you would school with her.
But half an hour, I tell you I was.
Aye, being done, there is no pause. It's the biggest lie you ever told.
While I say one prayer, I haven't lived all my life with scum like you.
What?
That's enough, you...
Toby, why haven't you gone?
Miss Rissa, the black gentleman, he know what Miss Hester is. He done strangle her.
Don't be silly, Toby. It's only a play. Now run along.
Yes, Miss Rissa, but that black gentleman, he know best.
Not dead? Not quite yet dead?
No thanks to you if I'm not.
I that am cruel am yet merciful. I would not have thee linger in thy pain. So. Now try and answer back.
Clarissa, I'm so glad to see you. You didn't bring your husband with you.
It was scarcely practical. He died 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought perhaps Mr. Rokeby might...
Rokeby, my husband. Heaven protect me, no.
Well, we'll have supper at once. You must be ravenous.
No, I'm not very hungry.
Oh, and I'd planned all this so carefully.
I seldom eat after the performance.
Just a little cold roast duckling. You know how you used to dote on it. Molly?
Your ladyship has a wonderful memory.
Your ladyship? You used to call me Clarissa.
You're very condescending, Clarissa.
You're as prickly and as provoking as ever.
You couldn't begin to imagine the degradations I've had to face. The poverty, the squalor, filthy lodgings, bills, always unpaid. I can tell you I've seen life, one side of it, since I ran away from Patchett's. You see, Ned, my husband, left the army. He had to. We tried many things, and then we were offered our keep by a company of strolling players. After he died, I stayed on.
You always said you wouldn't be a schoolmistress. Remember?
I remember. But if second chances were offered in this world, I wouldn't be so high and mighty now.
Hester, you're coming to London with me.
What do you mean?
No, this isn't charity. You said just now you'd rather be a governess than remain on the stage.
People don't choose their governesses from strolling players.
You can go to the devil if you will interrupt me. I have a little boy down at Rowan Castle. He's left far too much with the servants, and I need somebody to teach him. Wouldn't you take on the job?
And what would my Lord Rowan say?
I don't think he could object. Come up to London and I'll arrange it.
Would you tell him where you found me?
Well, perhaps it would be better not. What do you say?
I say yes.
Then you must stay here the night, and in the morning we'll drive
No, I must go and get my things and tell them at the theatre. I'll come back in the morning.
You must have my coach. You can't possibly walk in the rain.
My dear Clarissa, you'd be surprised at the things I've learnt to do since I left Bath.
Miss Clarissa, I got something for you. I kept it till she'd gone.
Where did this come from?
That gentleman sent it, Miss Clarissa.
What gentleman?
That black-white gentleman.
What do you mean?
When the highwayman gentleman done kill Miss Esther on the bed, he black devil. When I see me done gone white, Miss Clarissa, white as a lord. He give me the flowers and he say, you give them to lovely lady, he say, when nobody buy.
Was that all?
He give me this guinea.
Thank you, Toby. Good night.
Good night, Miss Clarissa.
While I ask pardon for my highwayman manners, I cannot crave forgiveness for the way I said farewell. For though I should be penitent, how can I regret a moment that is perhaps all I shall ever know of paradise?
This is the very place he held us up. I see now. He did it so that he could be in time for the play.
Trust Rokeby to get what he wants.
He's an unusual man. Has he always been an actor?
Well, to my way of thinking, he never has. Then he's been everything by turn. Actor, tutor, blacksmith, poet, and horse coper.
Where does he come from?
Eh? Oh, this Mr. Rodby. Oh, from the West Indies or some such place. He says he has an estate on an island off the Jamaican coast.
Why does he lead the life of a strolling player?
Well, he has some story about the French seizing this island and turning it over to the natives, and he says it's too much trouble to put the matter right.
To think he had the impudence to kiss your ladyship.
Kissed you, did he?
Oh, please don't talk about it. It's something I want to forget.
You had better stop giving me things until we're sure Lord Rowan will let me stay.
Oh, but he will. I don't often ask him favors. But this time I shall insist.
You can influence him?
No, but we have an understanding. I go my way and he goes his. Come, try it on.
That sounds as if you don't love him.
I never have. Nor he me. All the world knows that. Were you in love with your husband?
Very dearly. But we were both so young. We never had a penny. He died in my arms.
You're lucky to have been loved. That's he. That's Rowan. I wonder if this is the best time to see him. Yes, I'll go now and settle it. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Clarissa.
Did you find everything well at the castle?
Yes, thank you.
My son?
Well enough. He's learning to ride. And you found means of diverting yourself?
Yes, I've been gaming and to the playhouse. On Thursday I went to Lady Besworth's. The Prince was there with Mrs. Fitzherbert. I think she's delightful.
Uh-huh.
Rowan, I have a guest here. An old school friend of mine, a widow.
I believe there are plenty of rooms.
Well, you don't understand. I want her to stay here permanently.
Eh?
I think she'd be a good governess for David, and then we could have him here with us. I'm sure she'd be excellent. She was Miss Paget's cleverest pupil.
The child needs no governess. I intend to leave him down at Rowan Castle.
Rowan, I promised.
There's no more to be said, if you will choose to commit yourself.
Oh, excuse me, I wasn't aware.
No, Hester, don't go. I want to present my husband. This is Mrs. Barbary, of whom I was speaking.
How do you do?
Thank you, my lord. I'm well. A trifle confused. I had expected to find only Clarissa here.
My wife tells me that she has made certain promises to you which are impossible of fulfillment.
Oh, I understand. I leave tomorrow.
Mrs. Barbary, you've misunderstood me. If you wish it, you may remain here indefinitely. Not as governess, but as my wife's companion.
Ron, your lordship is most kind.
So happy as in these last few weeks. Allowing Hester to stay here is the kindest thing that Rowan's ever done for me. Perhaps I've misjudged him.
Mrs. Barbary, Lord Rowan would like a word with you, please.
Of course. In the library?
No. In his lordship's own rooms.
You wish to speak to me, my lord?
Yes, Mrs. Barbary. You're quite comfortable here?
Yes, indeed, my lord.
No thought of leaving us?
Why, no. How could I, after your great kindness?
You're not regretting your decision to stay?
On the contrary, I never knew such unobtrusive comfort could exist. Flowers could bloom so sweetly in winter, or fires burn all day so recklessly for people who sometimes never come in. I never knew the magic of a French cook, or the luxury of reading books fresh from the printers, or that carriages could glide so smoothly.
Did not your husband give you these things?
No, my lord, we were not wealthy. We lived very quietly.
Mrs. Barbary, I'm not an easy man to deceive. Why try to deceive me?
What do you mean?
A poor lone widow from St. Albans. I believe it was St. Albans.
I have lived there.
After your lamented husband's death.
That is true.
Mrs. Barbary, shall I refresh your memory? So far from being a respectable lone widow, you're a strolling player with a reputation that would not bring discredit to a woman of the streets. And as for this husband whom you so wistfully describe as having passed away in your loving arms, he died of jail fever in the Fleet prison after you'd deserted him in favor of a more wealthy protector.
You appear to be well informed, my lord.
Was this deception your idea or my wife's?
She thought it better not to mention the stage. The rest I didn't tell her.
I can understand your reticence.
Can you? I know this means I must go. But why should you presume to judge me? You've never known what it is to be a pauper, to see others enjoying the things you know should be yours. I've known it all my life. True, I lied and cheated my way into this house. Well, I'd do it again. You've got everything here I've always wanted. Wealth and comfort and luxury. You sneered at me because I was a strolling player. I was. I did desert my husband because he was a failure, and I don't intend to fail. No matter how I have to do it or who has to suffer, one day I'll get the things I want. And they won't be doled out to me on charity. And not you nor 100 others like you with your smug, self-satisfied arrogance will stop me. Get out of my way. Let me go.
Oh, no. I never thought to find a woman with a spirit as ruthless as mine. You take what you want and to the devil with the consequences. So do I.
That's Mogul, sir, and Lord Rowan, please.
First learn about his chances. Is he here?
Over there, sir, with Mrs. Barbary.
Oh, so that's the Barbary, eh?
He came down in style, with her on one side and his wife on the other.
I don't like to see it. I have a regard for Lady Rowan.
You don't like it, eh? You hear that, gentlemen? Mrs. Fitzherbert doesn't like the Barbary. We'll quiz Rowan till he leaves the Barbary at home.
Can you still get the odds?
I think so, my lord.
Then wager another 1,000 guineas.
Yes, my lord.
100 of it is yours.
You're too generous, Rowan.
And you're too effusive. These people are Clarissa's friends. Where is she?
Oh, gone off somewhere with that nigger urchin of hers.
And you better find her. The race will start soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my proud privilege to introduce to you Abdul, the Scourge of Stamboul. Umlagi, the Nubian Hercules, who at Barnes Fair, with no other weapons but his mighty arms, fought a full...
Miss Rissa, the black-white gentleman, over there, with all the other naked gentlemen. So it's you. That's right, Miss Rissa, the highwayman gentleman who done kiss you.
One of these gladiators.
It'll do, Toby.
Men,
come along.
They await your challenge.
Ladies, come inside and see what your husbands are made of.
Hey, Samba. Samba, you bark for a while.
But Miss Rissa, why do you go away?
You must get back to the others, Toby.
Lady Rowan.
Are you addressing me, sir?
Well, I don't hope that you'll remember, but we once shared a coach to St. Albans.
I endeavour to forget my more unpleasant experiences.
I deserve that, but I had hoped my note...
Yes, and the flowers. I'd forgotten the flowers. But they don't excuse your conduct.
Of course not.
And we'll say no more about it.
Oh, that's generous, sir. And to show that you really have forgiven me, May I show you the fair?
No, I haven't time. I must be getting back.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
You won.
What would you like, sir? There you are, sir.
Thank you. Well, here's a thing, and a very pretty thing. Will you accept this pretty thing?
Thank you. I wonder where Toby is.
The last time I saw him, he was watching my nigger Sambo beating the drum. He's very impressed.
Would you wait for me a moment?
Find the lady, my lucky gentleman, find the lady. The more you put down, the more you find the lady, my lucky gentleman. The more you put down, the more you pick up.
Don't you remember me? You once told my fortune in Bath. You said I'd marry a man in grey.
So I did, my lovely ladyship, so I did. And you have, eh? Aye, it's all here. I told you he wasn't the one for you, that another would come from over the seas. Aye, that's the one.
But that's absurd. We scarcely know each other. I must go.
Not before I've warned you. Remember what I told you before? Women isn't lucky to you. Never forget that. There's one who is out to harm you, she'll...
Well, what does the future hold for her ladyship? Health? Wealth? She has these. How about happiness?
That's there, if she'll grasp it.
Well, if you finished hers, how about telling mine?
Ask the lady. She knows.
What did she mean? Can you tell fortune?
Give me your hand. You should ought to go back to the place you come from, my pretty gentleman.
Where's that?
Away across the sea, far, far away. I see a T. No, it's a J. That's Jamaica. Black men isn't lucky for you, my pretty gentleman. They've taken away what's yours.
How the devil? I beg your pardon. How on
It's in your hand, my pretty gentleman. I can see an island.
Oh.
Logo, what's happened to Logo?
Still running, Madam. Sunstar's run.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my proud privilege to introduce to you, on my left, Abdul, the Scourge of Stamboul. On my right, Umlagi.
Toby, you'll get a whipping for this. Where's her ladyship?
Over there with the black-white gentleman.
Go back to the carriage and wait.
Yes, Miss Esther.
A hummingbird's no bigger than butterflies, brighter than jewels, and flowers like you've never seen before. Then there's the house. You love the house. It's cool, white, gracious, with a pillared colonnade.
Sounds lovely. When I was a little girl, I used to dream of a place like that. Beautiful place that I seem to know so well.
I've been looking for you everywhere.
Why, if it isn't the Barbary? But how do you two? So that was how you were able to tell my fortune.
The race is over.
When I missed it, did Mogul win?
No, he didn't. And I fear Lord Rowan will be very annoyed at your absence.
Oh, I must go and make my peace with him. Will you take these? Oh, except that. I'd like to keep that. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, why did you send for me?
I'm living with the Rowans at Grosvenor Square.
I congratulate you.
His lordship needs a librarian. I could put your name forward for the post.
Why should you?
One likes to do a good turn to an old friend.
We were never friends, and you never did anybody a good turn since you were born. Does Lady Rowan know about this?
Why do you ask?
Did she send you?
As if I should tell you. There is such a thing as honor among women, you know.
Oh, I see. You often sent on errands like this?
One must endeavor to please one's employers. All women are very much the same, you know. We should none of us be put on pedestals. Do you accept?
Oh, yes. I'd be a fool to refuse, wouldn't I?
Then you'd best call at Grosvenor Square in the morning. I'll speak to Lord Rowan.
Good morning, milady.
Mr. Rokeby. What on earth are you doing here?
Librarians are usually to be found in libraries.
Your occupations seem to change somewhat. First you were a highwayman, then an actor, and then a barker at a fair. Now you're a librarian. I wonder what you'll be next, Mr. Rokeby.
Well, that depends on your ladyship.
On me? I don't understand.
Don't you? And yet you knew I was coming here.
Knew? I'm astounded. You know you do turn up in the most unexpected places.
You mean you had no idea of my coming here?
Well, I told you, Mr. Rokeby. Why do you keep asking?
Oh, just wanted to make sure. So, seems I have Mrs. Barbara to thank for my good fortune.
Hester? Oh, so she arranged it to surprise me. Isn't that just like her?
Yes, just like her.
Please don't take my surprise as lack of welcome. Of course, I knew Lord Rowan wanted a new librarian, but I'd no idea it would be you.
It wouldn't have been if Mrs. Barbary hadn't sought me out and offered me the post. She gave me the impression the idea was yours.
You must have mistaken her. But I'm very glad you're here.
I shan't be for long. I'm to go to Rowan Castle.
You won't like it there. I should think you'd find that poor exchange for the house you're telling me of. The White House with the pillared colonnade and the hummingbirds and the flowers.
Except that it's in ruins. My father died defending it.
What happened?
Oh, the French incited the slaves, and they rose and murdered every white man on the island.
But have you never tried to get it back?
No, I'd have to do a deal of killing before I could reclaim it. I'd rather bark at fairs or browse among the books of Rowan Castle than make targets of poor blacks.
You like people, don't you? I do, too. The world would be a much happier place if people liked each other a little more.
Your horse is waiting, milady.
I must go. I've kept you too long with my chattering.
Milady.
Thank you, Granger. I shall have something to say to Hester for not telling me you were coming.
Yes, I shall have something to say to her, too.
Isn't it a lovely day?
Tomorrow night?
I don't see how I can. Clarissa's going to the masquerade. I can't always have a headache.
If you let me find a house for you, you could break with Clarissa.
Why me? Suppose you break with Clarissa.
Eh? What do you mean? Oh, no. You can put that thought right out of your head. There'll be no scandal.
Very well. We must wait. Perhaps she'll go to Rowan Castle soon.
She can't endure the place.
I have an idea she may find it more endurable this summer.
Let's hope you're right.
morning. You're up early.
What are you doing here? Get out!
Dear, dear. How unfriendly. I was hoping for a nice little chat.
What do you want?
I'll tell you just this. I see now why you brought me here. You wanted Clarissa and me to fall in love with each other, didn't you? Well, as far as I'm concerned, you succeeded. But as a cover for your affair with Rowan, it's not going to help at all.
You're going to tell her?
No. No, she has a quality you wouldn't understand. Loyalty to her friend. She wouldn't believe me.
Then what do you want? You say you love her. Well, so do I him. And if anyone tries to come between us, so much the worse. I've no quarrel with those who don't interfere. But if you love her, keep her from getting in my way.
Pretty speech and dead in character. Has anyone ever told you what a slut you are?
You can insult me if you wish, but
well,
I tell
once
you...
you've spoken the truth, my dear, I do believe you would stop at nothing.
Then remember it.
But there's one factor you've overlooked. Me. You see, I'm not a gentleman. And I swear by God that if she comes to any harm through you, I'll break that lovely neck of yours with less regret than I'd stamp on a snake. Good night.
He's been gone a week, and Grosvenor Square is intolerable without him. For the first time, I wish I was at Rowan Castle, but of course I cannot follow him. I reached the castle in the morning. He was surprised to see me and looked grave. But I made him take me out on the lake, and soon we were laughing, as I think neither of us have laughed since he went away. The sun was shining, and the birds singing overhead, and I knew that life had some meaning again. I can't think how I ever came to dislike Rowan Castle, but then I've never seen it in the autumn. I can't stay much longer, and yet I can't bear to speak of going. Today I told him. Our gallop over the downs had made me bold. Indeed, when I'm riding with Ropeby, I seem to lose all sense of fear. So I told him quite plainly that it was not my wish he should remain at Rowan Castle all the winter. He answered very coldly and pretended he'd misunderstood me. But what am I to do? I can't entreat him to follow me to London. Back in Grosvenor Square. But every hour of the day is empty without him. I dress myself and go out and smile and dance and chatter, but I scarcely know what I'm doing. I must go away. I must get the better of this madness. For it is madness to love a man who never thinks of one. So I went to the George Lambs for almost a week. But when I returned to Grosvenor Square, it was more miserable than ever. And then I went into the library, and he was there. We didn't say anything, because there was nothing we needed to say. I love him. I love him, and he loves me. But now he wants to leave me to sail to Jamaica and win back his island, so that he can take me there. I've tried to dissuade him, but he seems determined.
Toby, do you know what I was doing?
No, Miss Esther, I never done see you reading Miss Rissa's diary.
Do you remember when the gypsy refused to tell my fortune? You told them in the kitchen it was because I was a witch.
No, Miss Esther. If they tell you that, they tried to make me trouble.
But it's true, Toby. You're the only one clever enough to know it. So you see, if you ever tell anybody anything about my reading that book, I'll know. I can hear what's being said 100 miles away. So take care, Toby, because if I get angry, The flesh will drop off your bones and your heart will burn up.
Yes, Miss Esther.
Oh, Clarissa, I just came in to find you.
Hester, I'm in a hurry. What is the matter with Toby? I met him in the corridor, racing as though the devil was at his heels. Hester, there's something I want to tell you.
Yes?
Rokeby and I are in love.
Rokeby? I never dreamt it.
He wants to go back at once to the West Indies.
Well, you'll go with him.
I want to, but he said he must clear off the rebel slaves before he dare take me there.
Well, it's not for me to persuade you, but if you love him, whatever the dangers, you should face them with him.
And you think so, too. I'll insist. I'll tell Rowan and ask him to set me free.
Tell Rowan before you go, but that would be fatal. He'd stop you.
But Rokeby insists upon telling him.
Clarissa, for heaven's sake, don't let him.
Why not? Rowan's not in love with me.
But don't you see they'll fight? Rowan will kill him.
Of course. Rokeby wouldn't avoid it. I'll dissuade him. I must fly.
Mrs. Barbary! One moment, please.
Yes, my lord.
Whom has Clarissa gone to meet?
How should I know?
Don't lie to me. It's Rokeby, isn't it?
Rokeby? I don't believe it.
Then you haven't used your eyes. Clarissa may have as many lovers as she pleases, but she must choose them decently.
What will you do?
Keep her at Rowan Castle till she comes to her senses and send him out of the country.
You won't let her go?
And tell the world my wife's deceived me with a lackey. Her ladyship, what was her destination?
Vauxhall Gardens, my lord.
Master Rokeby, my lord, him coming. I think him looking for you, Miss Rissa.
We must go.
No. No, this settles it. Lord Rowan? Who's that? Swinton Rokeby. A word with you, please.
Go to my carriage at the west gate.
Just one moment, Lord Rowan.
That'll do, Rokeby. I'll deal with you presently.
You may as well have the truth now. Your wife believes that I can make her happier than you've ever tried. I ask you to set her free. If you feel your honor demands satisfaction, I place myself at your disposal.
I may be obliged to thrash you, Rokeby, but we can hardly fight. And as for your freedom, Clarissa, coming from this adventurer, the suggestion's damned insolence. No doubt when he learns that apart from your marriage settlement you're penniless, and that even that will be forfeit if you disgrace my name, he'll think better of his bargain.
Well, there's only one answer to that. Go home and pack any clothes you need. I'll call for you later tonight.
Swinton, you...
Please, go. Wait, you damned arrogant swine. It's time someone told you the truth about yourself. Just because you've had everything poured into your lap and better men to do your bidding, you think you're some kind of being apart. Well, you're not. You're just a well-bred scoundrel whose treatment of his wife has been beyond contempt. You tricked her into marrying her to perpetuate your rotten line. You gave her no love, no understanding. And now you betray her in her own home with a friend she trusts. All London condemns you for it. And will applaud her for leaving you.
I've changed my mind about thrashing you, Rokeby. It'll give me great pleasure to kill you. Name your time and weapons.
Well, time is now. And the weapons are these. We can't have this. Get these people away. Rowan, what the devil? This is no place for a sparring match. Come away, men.
Not till I've finished with this fellow, sir.
Not here. Place is far too public. Come away.
Mr. Rokeby.
What?
Forgive me. I know your name and a little of the circumstances. People are talking.
Let them talk. I'll take her away from all this.
I don't think you realize how cruel her position would be. The slights, the indignities. I know it better than most.
I'll take her far away, to the West Indies. I'll make a home for her there.
But what's to become of her while you're making it?
Well, that's the trouble. I had meant to come back for her when I could offer her safety and security, but Rowan's insults...
Have his insults changed the situation? Don't sacrifice her because you're angry.
But how can I leave her with him after this?
I fancy when you were gone, her friends would insist on a separation. She has many partisans. Influences might be exerted which would be more persuasive than your fists. I've sent Toby for a post-chase. He'll meet you at the corner of the square.
Bless you, Hester. I've left some rings and my seed pearls on the dressing table. They're for you in case you're in difficulties. This note just came for you. It's from Rokeby to tell me where... Hester.
He's gone. He's gone without me.
No. No, it's impossible. A good friend has persuaded me, saying... The fool. Clarissa. Clarissa. Don't lose your head. Quick, the back stairs.
Where's Clarissa?
She's lying down in her room. She has a headache.
She's gone to that fellow.
To Rokeby?
I half expected it. I should have been here before, but the prince detained me.
I swear I had nothing to do with it. But you'll go after her. Perhaps she's only gone to Lady Mar's or the William Lambs. Go to them. Go to everyone you can think of.
What? Go round the town bleating after my wife? That would be a pretty exhibition. Let her go. It's too late to avoid a scandal now. If she likes mud, let her sink in it.
You'd gone. I was so terrified you'd be gone.
All right, darling, why did you come? Didn't you get my note?
Yes, but I couldn't let you go alone.
Well, that's why I didn't say goodbye.
You've got to take me with you. I don't mind the dangers. I can face anything with you. I know you're thinking of my safety, but I'm thinking of our happiness. My place is with you. Hester says so, too. Women see things differently, you know.
It's not possible, Clarissa. Darling, come and sit down. There'll be weeks of fighting. I can't take you to an island overrun by half-crazed savages.
You said you'd take me with you.
I know. That was Rowan's insult. I was mad to think of it even for a moment.
If you go without me, I know something will happen. We'll never be together again.
Darling, don't. Please. God knows there's nothing I wouldn't do for you, but for your safety, I can't take you with me. And for your happiness, I must first earn back the things that are mine.
I can't go back to Rome.
Now, you've not read my note. You're to go to Lady Mar till I return. Oh, believe me, darling, it's the only way. And if you're to be my wife, you must learn to obey me.
Must I go now?
No, not now. Stay with me till I say it. Look how calm the night is. It's a good omen. Have a calm sea and a following wind.
The moon is high. There are clouds coming up.
This time next year, we'll watch it rise over the magnolias in our own garden.
From the house of the white colonnade overlooking the sea.
My travels will be over. I shall have brought all beauty home with me. There's nothing left worth seeing in the world.
I don't think I can bear this. I'm sorry, but I can't. I really can't.
Oh, we must.
Swindon, take this. Give me something of yours.
This? I happened to come home to find you taking snuff. It's an abominable habit for a woman.
I shall smoke cheroots like the ladies of the Spanish town. How long have we got?
About 10 minutes.
And then, before you sail?
You see that sea wall? When the water reaches the high tide mark, we shall leave the harbor.
I shall watch your ship until I can't see it anymore.
No, go inside. It'll be cold out here.
I want to see it to the very last.
Clarissa, there's something I've got to say to you. I wish you wouldn't place so much confidence in Hester. I've tried to warn you before, but every time I say...
Spoil our last moments together. She's the only friend I've got. The only person who ever loved me before you came.
Darling.
We only had one summer together. It's not much in a lifetime, is it?
There'll be others.
No others.
If I thought that, I wouldn't go. I couldn't live without you, Clarissa. I couldn't live without you. The beginning and end of everything I've ever wanted. I couldn't lose you. I couldn't.
How foolish we are. It's less than a year.
A day without you is too long.
So many ships sail across the world every day and back again. It's nothing. It's time you went. Better go now. Quickly.
Take care of her, Toby. And never leave her alone with Mrs. Barbary.
No, Master Rugby. That Mrs. Barbary, she deadly nightshade.
Goodbye, Toby.
Yes, Miss Rissa?
Why have you brought me here? No, Lady Mars. I promised I'd go to Lady Mars. Hester.
I conjecture the fever will return tonight. Care and warmth are still prime necessities. But if sufficient care is taken, my lord, I think she will recover.
You have confidence in the nurse?
I have impressed upon her that constant vigilance is of the utmost importance.
Hester, you'll have to go.
You mean you're turning me out of the house?
Society has been pleased to resent your presence here. Even the prince has made some damned officious remarks.
You mean Mrs. Fitzherbert?
You may have a new establishment, Hester, anywhere you please, but discreet.
And alone?
Ostensibly.
Where shall I be without Clarissa's protection?
You will have mine.
Very different, Rowan. Kept woman.
What were you before you came here?
And Clarissa, going off with Rokeby, is she any better? Is she so virtuous?
My wife is a Rowan. No scandal will be attached to her name.
You mean you'll forgive her?
Forgive is a stupid word. I've already forgotten the incident.
I'm sorry, Rowan. It was just the thought of being separated from you I couldn't bear.
It's 1,000 pities I didn't meet you before I married. You're more to me than I thought any woman could be. But Clarissa is my wife.
I understand. I'll leave in the morning.
Find a house quickly.
Why, my lady, what are you about?
I've got to pack. I'm going to Lady Mar's.
Come along, dear. Come along. Get back to bed. There's a love.
What's this? How could you let her get up?
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I only dropped off for a minute. I've been up these 3 nights.
Oh, you must be terribly tired. You go to bed and I'll sit with her.
Very well, ma'am. Keep a warm mind, keep up the fire, and call me if there's any change. There's our sleeping draught. 10 drops and half a glass of water. Good night, ma'am.
Good night, nurse. Yes, love. I'm going to sit with you.
I'm so glad. My head is torture. I shan't die, shall I?
No, of course not. You'll be better soon. I'm going to give you your drops.
It's so hot. It's always hot on the island. I shall bathe all day, he says. I can look down through the sea. It's like crystalline. See the flying fish and the hummingbird. Not hummingbirds. Coral.
Here, don't talk so much. Drink this. There.
Your hand is lovely and cold. used to make snowballs. Oh, it was snowy the day you came. It's disagreeable being so ill and can't go till we pay the bill. Rugby will pay the bill when he comes. Hush. Go to sleep.
What are you doing here? Go away.
But Miss Hester, I gotta stop with Miss Rissa. I promised Master Rugby.
You know what I told you. You know what I can do.
Yes, Miss Hester, I know what you can do.
Then go.
Hester, I thought you were gone. Stay with me. I feel safer when you're here. These inns aren't safe. Hold my hand. Feels so good to me. I've always known that whatever happened, I could rely on you. Hush. Go to sleep. Don't let Patrick put out the light.
She's both lovely and amiable. Even you, miss, will find her so. I'm Clarissa Richmond. Will you have a sugar bar? She is the only girl in this house who will not despise you because you are disconnected and poor. You shall share all I've got, and then you can't be in here. You always said you wouldn't be a schoolmistress. Remember? Hester, you're coming to London with me. So good to me. I've always known that whatever happened, I could rely on you. So good.
You'll have to go. You're more to me than I thought any woman could be. But Clarissa is my wife. As for the Rowan star, lock it up with the rest of the jewels. It won't be wanted again till my son marries. What do you want?
To tell you I leave in the morning.
Leave?
You were most insistent that I should.
It's different now.
Quite different. I could have remained with Clarissa. Now it's impossible.
Yes. There's some reason in that. We shall have to find your house.
No, Rowan. That's a position I don't care to occupy. It's better we part.
I won't permit it.
You can't prevent it.
What exactly do you want?
Strange as it may seem, a reputation.
So that's what you're after. Marriage. How can that serve you? Clarissa's friends would see to it that you are not received.
12 months from now, they'll have forgotten. Old scandals are tedious. Still, you'd be very unwise to marry me. I quite see that. I'll go tomorrow.
Very well, Hester. If I've got to marry you to keep you, then I'll marry you.
Is that a promise?
It's a capitulation. Toby, we thought you'd run away for good. Where the devil have you been?
Massa, he's the witch done gone.
Which? Who do you mean?
Don't name her, Massa. She all you say.
What nonsense is this? Come now, who are you speaking of?
The witch, Massa, the witch.
I am happy beyond words that Hester has come to live with us. To me, Hester is the sister that I never had. I'm no longer alone, for I have with me my closest friend, my dearest. Rowan. Clarissa would have wished me to do this for her.
Naturally. Let me help you.
No, not that. I gave it to her.
Ah, something to remember her by. The sentimental side to your nature is a thing I'd never suspected.
Why not? She was my friend. The best I ever had.
Quite touching. And true. Clarissa was indeed a good friend to you.
I've said so.
And it was the most natural thing in the world that you should want to look after her. No doubt that's why you dismissed the nurse on the night she died.
The poor woman hadn't had any sleep for 3 nights.
Very thoughtful of you. Of course, that's what she was paid for.
Rowan, you're not blaming me. I did exactly as she said.
Just what was that?
I had to give Clarissa her sleeping drops.
That'd make her sleep through almost anything, wouldn't it? Was that all?
I had to build up the fire and wait.
For what?
Well, she had a fever. She was restless. She might have thrown off the covers.
Did she?
I can't remember.
You remember building up the fire?
Yes, of course.
You're lying.
Rowan, why do you say that? Why are you torturing me? I may have been careless and gone to sleep. In fact, I did, and when I woke up, the fire was out.
You murdered Clarissa. You locked the door, you damped the fire, you pulled the covers...
How can you say that? How can anyone say that? I was alone here. There's not a soul...
You were not alone. What do you mean? You thought you'd arranged it so well. You sent the nurse away. You turned Toby from the door, and there she lay, your friend at your mercy. But you were not alone. He was there. After you'd drawn back the curtain to let in the night air, he saw everything you did.
I don't believe it. He wasn't. He couldn't have been.
He promised never to leave you alone with her.
You'd believe that slave's brat before me?
Why do you suppose he ran away? He knew what you were. Evil.
It isn't true, Ron. I swear it isn't.
This one time you will tell me the truth. You murdered her, didn't you? Didn't you?
Yes. Yes, yes! She stood between us and our happiness. I did it for you. I did it for you.
You killed my wife.
She was nothing to you. She never loved
you. I love you. Rowan! Rowan, live!
You killed a Rowan. Who dishonors us dies.
You're not going to inform against me. You're not going to let them hang me.
I'll not leave that heritage to my son. But you're not going to escape.
For this trinket box and contents said to have belonged to the lovely Lady Rowan. 17, 18, 19, 20 guineas. Thank you, madam. 20 guineas I bid. Oh, come. We can't waste any more time on a small item like this. 20 guineas? Very well. To Mrs. P. McClapperday.
Too late. Gone.
Oh, Peter, I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
Of course it isn't.
If I hadn't stopped to have my fortune told by that gypsy...
Doesn't matter.
Thank you.
I've got better things to do with my money now.
But you wanted to take something back belonging to the Rowans.
Perhaps I shall.
26.
You know, I take back what I said about her yesterday. She has got rather a sweet face. Well, where do we go from here?
When do you have to get back?
Not till tonight.
Then let's get the first bus we see and go wherever it takes us.
Suits me, wherever it takes us.
It is a lovely day.